This is my audience of 8 and 3 children. Hi, my name is Tiffany McElveen, and today I would like to talk with you about something that is very important to me. The need to stop using the painful practice of physically disciplining our children. Dan Pierce said, "Children are a gift. They're not ours for the breaking, but ours for the making." When I think about this, I know that it means we cannot hope to raise children to become responsible adults that can resolve conflict without using violence by using violence. I'd like to tell you the story about what changed my mind on this, especially, is my own children. And my 2-year-old one day threw an entire roll of toilet paper in the toilet, and her dad whooped her butt and put her in the bedroom. And for the next year, she was terrified of any and all men that she saw and would scream, "Bloody murder, daddy, don't hurt me," every time she saw a man. Not because she was abused, but because she didn't understand why somebody that she trusted would hurt her. That was the last spanking she has received and will ever receive. So today I'm going to show you that not only is physical discipline ineffective and it has very serious side effects, but there are more effective and safer options to discipline your children. And as parents, if you have that choice, why not use that rather than having to hurt your kids to teach them a lesson? Hurting a child should be avoided at all costs. And research has shown that corporal punishment might provide immediate response, but it doesn't have long-term results. And if you ask any parent, they'll tell you that they're not just interested in the now. They want to know that their kids will grow up to know right from wrong without having to constantly be disciplined for it. According to Cynthia Hazel, a professor at the University of Denver, studies show that violence doesn't teach children to avoid that behavior. It simply teaches them to avoid getting caught. And the goal of discipline is actually to teach. It's actually where the word comes from. And what we're often trying to teach children is self-control and to regulate your emotions. And when adults react with aggression, it teaches children to react with emotions and often to react with aggression. This picture says it funny, where it says, "How many times do I have to remind you that violence is not the answer?" as he's hitting his kid. And I have seen that happen so many times in my own parenting and in other people's. And the truth is that violence just isn't the answer. The studies show that children who are physically punished are more aggressive, they're more antisocial, they're more depressed, and they often have an increased chance of hurting their children and their future spouses. Why take that chance with your child? NeverHitAChild.org references a study by Lazaro who showed that preschool children who were physically disciplined were more aggressive with their parents and other children than preschool children who weren't disciplined. And as you can see, little children are the most harmed by the stress of physical discipline, which also you can see in my personal story. Children who are physically disciplined are also more antisocial. And most interestingly enough, a study by Dr. Mary Strauss from the University of New Hampshire shows that there's a direct relationship between the frequency and duration that a child is physically disciplined and a decrease in their IQ scores. Especially in the younger children are, the more dramatic you see their IQ decrease. No. So now I'm going to talk to you about your other options. You have to discipline your children. What can you do if you don't want to physically discipline your child? Well, timeouts. Timeouts are great. It teaches children self-control and to regulate their emotions without resorting to violence. Removing rewards is great for older children. For example, if they have a bad attitude, then they don't get to go over to their friend's house. It shows them there's consequences to behavior, but we're not going to hurt them for it. Natural consequences are very effective, such as if you don't eat your vegetables, you're going to be hungry later. If you don't want to put your jacket on when you go outside, you'll be cold. They're actually life's way of teaching you lessons, and they're very effective. All of this is put together to show you that it's possible to raise children that are well disciplined and responsible without having to resort to pain and fear of violence to do that. Remember, to review, physical discipline doesn't work. And it has serious side effects, and it harms children not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, psychologically, socially. And the use of aggression increases aggression and can lead to long-term consequences that they struggle with even as adults. So now that we have the knowledge to be able to use other methods of discipline, such as timeouts, removing our rewards, and natural consequences, then we no longer have to resort to hurting our children to teach them. Nelson Mandela said, "There can be no keener revelation to a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children." Childhood should be full of love and safety and a brief sheltering from the cruel world that we have to face as adults. Let's start a change in our society and stop hurting those we vowed to protect at all costs. Don't let this be your child. Thank you.